Hey legends, massive episode for you today. We have number one draft pick Jamarra Hagan on from the Western Bulldogs. This was one of the most enlightening episodes we've ever had on the podcast. Jamarra goes into his background, growing up in a mission out in Warrnambool, leaving his family, his big clan of family, where the lifestyle there was very different to the Big Smoke, getting a scholarship to Scotch and getting drafted number one into the Bulldogs. A massive change of pace, a massive change of life. The guy has such a good head screwed on his shoulders. It was such an incredible podcast, learning about his development in the AFL and becoming one of the superstars that we're watching today. It had it all, AFL fans. Let's get into it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Unlaced podcast. As I always say, if you are new here, thank you for turning up. Come back again. I absolutely love you. If you haven't given us a review on Spotify, please do if you're tuning in on there. YouTube, give us a sub. We appreciate all the support this year. We're gunning for the top 50 again. We've had some big guests in the AFL, and arguably, I've got a guy in today that I class as my little brother, but he's taller than me and better looking. So it's a bit of an issue, but I'm very happy to have Bulldogs forward, number one draft pick, Jamarra Hagan.
Thanks for having me. The introduction's pretty good.
Yeah, it was, huh? Yeah. Do you know what? A few people, when they come in, like mates that I have that come in, they get nervous on the pod after I do the intro because all of a sudden we're joking.
Yeah, now
then I go
into a professional.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro.
It's just the intro. I know you guys know.
We're sweet.
Bro, how are you, man?
No, I'm good. I feel good. Obviously, our season's going really well, but I'm healthy at the moment, which is good.
Yeah, bro. You I don't know like how, but you train so much outside of your program. Like boxing and strength training and stuff. Have you always been doing that, or is that something you just kind of did this year?
Yeah, well, I took it for granted in my first year of just not just doing what the coaches give me, but I wasn't getting better than the players around me. Like the boys in my locker room, I wasn't getting anywhere. So I had to get a head start. So if I train before training, then I'm already like in front of them. That's how I feel, and it makes me sleep a little bit better. But it gives me no excuse as well when I finish my career. Yeah, like I gave it all my best. But yeah, no, I definitely love me boxing because it's just...
Bro, you throw. You can throw. You got like, have you got natural hands, or is that just because you've done it a lot?
Nah, definitely. I think it's in my blood. Because I'm not a fighter. I'm more of a lover.
You are, but that's what's even more weird.
Yeah,
it's like if you did want to scrap...
Nah, but... Yeah, I'd let you punch on for me, already.
Big bro. Nah, bro, I said little bro.
You got him. I'm pretty good. I love me boxing, and then I love me recovery stuff, like Pulse H. They're unbelievable. They look after me.
We should give them a shout out, because I did tell the boys, Joss and Corey, you'd be on today. So, guys, Pulse 8 and Murrumbina, they've trained half the AFL.
Yeah, they do. Only the good ones are.
Yeah, I was actually doing chin-ups there today. And I was just so frustrated because I'm like, this little prick. I do a chin up and I get above the bar, and then it's just a frame of just your head. Yeah. With the Bulldogs jersey. What's going on here, bro? It's like the Messiah of fitness. So I'm just there doing this. But shout out Pulse 8 and Murrumbina, a bunch of great blokes, Joss and Corey behind it all. They've set up a great environment for athletes. And you do... What you just kind of do, like sort of, I don't know, plyometrics or some sort of...
Yeah, I do mobility and flexibility work. Captain's run day. But before that pre-season, Joss, I jumped in that altitude room.
Yeah. Did that do anything for you?
It's so hard. So I used to do that on top of my running sessions. So that would make me feel a bit fitter. I don't know. All it did was like, I just got Josh yelling at me. But it was more like a prees kind of thing. It was like, I'll do this train and then I'll go to the pub. He loved it. Josh is amazing. He does it out of his own way. Like, he looks after me, but he just wants the best out of it. He's himself, and he actually kind of look up to him the way he goes about his life.
Yeah, I do too with that. Yeah. He meant 5 a.m. in the morning, he's yelling into his iPhone like, who's at the gym? Like, get here. So yeah, he's there. I did altitude training once in Denver, and because it was like in the mountains, and I remember when I did it, every drill you normally do, like here in Melbourne, just seems a little bit harder because it's like your breathing's changed and all that sort of stuff. But then you come back, and you're like, you fucking run so much better.
I feel like it feels like you've been smoking your whole entire life, but you haven't touched a start at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you've just rolled out, and you're like, wow, I can actually breathe better than how I walked in.
Brand new.
Yeah, it's good.
It's pretty cool, man. The one thing that I mean, not shocked about, but just getting to know you, I was like, yeah, you do put so much effort into your craft. Has coming now into what, is this year 4 for you?
Yeah, year 4.
Year 4. It's such a tough position being a key forward as well. Do you think anything you've changed this year has helped you play to this elite level that you've been playing, or is it just literally you're more experienced in the game?
Yeah, it's just I felt like it's just trusting the process. So if the first year I've weighed in at like 83 kilos, got drafted, or 87. So I was getting pushed around. For a key forward, you're getting tagged every week. It's the hardest role out there, I believe. But now that I've done the work in the gym, I've put on the size. Like it's a lot easier to fight these like older men. Yeah. I found, and then just I'm doing extra touch before I go out in training. So we do like me and Aaron Norton every morning. We do a little bit of craft because Josh Bruce taught us like this is what you should be doing. And so like just get a little bit of ahead of everyone else before you train. And so then you go, you're prepared for training. And then after that, you just every single morning.
You're doing a lot, bro.
Yeah.
So this is no joke. This is like, there's a reason why you're playing. Because what's challenging when you're someone like you've got so much potential and everyone's telling you what you're going to be. But like some people let that get in the way and of the work and like what it actually like takes to be at that point. You seem like you've kept your feet on the ground with that.
Yeah, that's what I think. I just take day by day. Like it is hard to look at, oh, wow, I'm going to play North Melbourne this week or I'm playing Sydney Swans, you know what I mean? Like you're like already thinking of the game. But if I just take every day by day, I just cruise a bit more and then I don't stress about my performance or anything because I know I've done the work.
Yeah, that's how I used to be. Yeah. Do you think like you're working to sharpen skills or you're overworking just to be mentally free on the field? Oh. So you've got that edge. Because I used to do it for the mental edge. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I know I'm going to kick this, so I know I can do that movement.
Yeah, it's definitely the mental edge. It takes it off because you're like, if you know that you've had a couple of beers in the week and you haven't done your extra training for the week, you're going to think of those beers when you're playing bad. Yeah. But if you haven't had those beers and you've done the extra work, you're like, I'm ready. I have no excuse not to play bad.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I'm so proud of you. You played such a good year. It's been. But it must be like, not even a relief because you know you were going to do it, but just must be nice for you to be actually doing it consistently, kicking big bags of goal, being that key forward and kind of standing up for your team in key moments as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on it. But I feel like everyone forgets that I'm only 22. So
that's crazy as well.
Like I've still got time to come.
You've got 15 years if you want, mate.
Like I don't want to be on top of the league like at this age because then I've got to hold it for the rest of my career. But no, right now I feel, I'm just taking year by year and then hopefully just get better and better. Yeah. And hopefully I'm healthy for the rest of my career.
Yeah. Well, mate, I'm sure you will be the way you're working. One thing I've learnt about, and I've loved getting to know you, bro. I actually love it. You know I love you. But one thing I honestly never really thought about much with you until I got to know you. And even now, as I told you today, I'm like, I still don't know the full extent of your upbringing. Because for people that don't know at home, Mara grew up in, with your family, your Indigenous family in Warrnambool. Yeah. And then you were privileged enough, good enough at footy that you got an opportunity to go to Scotch College, came to the big smoke, and then all of a sudden you're a number one draft pick, which is a huge change of speed from what I've understood of like where you sort of grew up. So can you just give us some insight into like the area you grew up in, the family you have? Yeah. Just give us, what that looked like.
So I grew up on we call it a mission. So it's an Indigenous community where there's just like our whole family's out there, like my cousins next door, my aunties across the road. I've got my uncle down the road. I've got my nan 50 metres down the road. Like it's all of us. We've got the basketball courts. We've got the tennis courts, like playground at the front yard. Like and it's just ours. Like I can go around, like I started driving, like I don't know if I could say this, but I started driving a car at like 5 years old because I'd want to drive.
Can he say that?
Because I was
I don't want to get him in trouble.
Mum wants me to go get milk. I was like, oh yeah, Nan's got milk. I'll drive down there and go get that. Or if like, Mum.
So what's the go just on the mission? Like can people that are not part of your family or not Indigenous, are they allowed to come into that space?
Yeah, that's the best bit. So like I'd bring my best mates down, Joogie Sumner. He'd come down. If he's punched on with his older brothers, he'd come out just to hide from his parents. Yeah. So we'll just go sleep out there. He'd sleep at mine. If not, we'd go down to my uncle's. We'll sleep there. We won't go home. I was talking to E, our mate.
Shout out.
Yeah, we're talking to him, and then I can go to my uncle's house. I go sleep there for 2 days. I could go to my nan's house and sleep there for 3 days. My mum wouldn't even know where I am. And I'd rock up and she's like, oh, where have you been? I've just been down the road. And that's it. Like, and then if you're hungry, and if let's say we had no food in the cupboard or anything, like nothing. Wow. I'd have to go down and like, I'd just go house to house, go get feed, go get lunch, go get dinner somewhere else. But if you had no food anywhere, you'd have to just go ealing and go, yeah.
Was there periods where you did go like that?
Yeah, 100%. There'd be days where I'd go to school without any fucking snacks and stuff, but I'd It always works out. That's what you can stress about stuff, but I figured out, like, I feel like it's just the world throws problems at you just to stress you out a bit, but everything always works out.
Bro, that is so inspiring to me, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, wow. Bro, I grew up with, I remember one day I had cross country and I had no shoes to run in, so I used to wear these little white slip-ons Converse, like not the volleys, but the other ones that from Kmart, Target. Yeah. So I'd go around, the cheaper version of volleys. Wow. So I'd go around home, I'd walk around, go through the car, look for silvers. I'd walk down with like silvers like this. Some of them are still like rusty and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
is that a 20 cent or a 50? I can't tell.
So I'd go to Kmart because Mum and that would drive us in, and then I'd go buy me a pair of those, and then I'd run in those in cross country, and all the boys would be like, why'd you run in those? So you didn't run in those, did you? I was like, what's wrong with these? These are good.
Oh my God.
They had no grip on the bottom. Like, you know how they are? They just slip like little slides there. So I had those. Sometimes I had to wear my mum's shoes to school because I didn't have any. And that she was, and they're yellow Nikes, like they're fucking Air Maxes. Like, oh, these are grouse, but my foot didn't fit in them. But I still wore them.
How big were your mum's feet?
My mum's feet were small as.
Wow. So how much family do you have? Like, do you have a clan of like brothers and sisters and stuff?
So we've got we'd have like 60 on our community. So there's like probably 5 in each. I've got 8 in my family, including myself.
Wow. Where are you in the stack of the 8?
So I'm the second oldest. Okay. I'm the oldest boy.
Yep.
And then I've got 4 younger brothers underneath me, and then 1 older sister who's in Geelong recently.
Wow. Do your younger brothers just like coming from that space when they see you just playing on the MCG and Marvel? Just is that just like flip that would flip me out?
You know,
even
they get annoyed when we go. I take them to Pancake Parlour and like movies. Every time they come out, I'll go bowling. I'm like, what do you guys want to do? We'll go to EB Games, buy a game. Like, I'll treat them, give them everything.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But when they come up and people come up and ask for photos, they get real dirty. They get like, they're like, why do they keep asking for photos? Like, this is our time. Because they never get it. Because I haven't seen them since I'll come to Melbourne since I was 15, so I didn't have my family time. I didn't see them grow up as much. But when they're with me, that's Jamarra's time. Like, that's our time.
Wow.
But they get real dirty when other people ask for photos.
That's funny as hell. Yeah, I rate that. Yeah, so is the mission like, is that kind of like a camp?
Yeah, so it's like it's where back in the day, like they just sent out all the Indigenous and blackfellas out there away from the town.
Wow.
And then that's where we grew up. And then so it's acres. But it's acres of acres. Like, it's massive. Like, we've got a bush up top where we have our own cemetery. Like, we have our own like community centre. We have heaps of things like basketball courts. As I said before, we've got a gym now. I remember I had to set up like we ended up cutting like some wood poles, set up some goals outside. But we used to roll my ankles all the time because it was like in a paddock pretty much. So you'd just be smashed by all those cow prints.
Did that help your skill at all?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Because we always had competitions, like our cousins. Like, you'd always get together and you'd play basketball, you'd play everything. Like, you would never be home. Yeah. Like, there'd be mum and that yelling at you to get home. Yeah. Like, one time we used to have like the hay bales just stacked up all the way, and we used to play hide and seek in them. And like, we didn't think how dangerous that is. Like, they could have fell on us, but we didn't.
Oh my God.
And like, we would ride motorbikes around, and like the police, they can come out, but they can't do anything. They just because it's private land, they let it go.
So that's what I was trying to get at. It's private land. So there's certain there is certain parameters of who is allowed in.
No, 100%. So it's pretty much like just enter at your own risk.
Unless if I'm coming with you, then I'm But
sweet.
What happened if
you just rocked up, everyone would think you're a copper.
Hey, I've been called Indigenous many times on my passport, and it's true. I'm born in.
The first thing you'd be asked is who's your mob, and then
then I'd struggle. Yeah, I'd just say Jamarra's.
I'm from that way.
Yeah. Bro, that's crazy, man. I actually watched, it's quite sad, man, because I'm like, obviously being coloured, like Indigenous people, I absolutely love. When I used to play soccer for Australia, I used to always like, when we play other countries, it was so evident the other countries' cultures. Like, when we play like a South American team, they would have like the drums, the music, they'd always drink mate, this tea. Yeah. You knew what they were about. And like with Australia, we didn't really have we had a lot of multicultural people, but no like real identity of who we were. But I always thought, I'm like, we do. We got Indigenous culture. Like, we should be playing didgeridoos like the Brazilians are playing the samba drums and stuff.
Bro, it would be amazing.
Do you know what I mean?
That. Yeah, 100%. You can look at it like that, but we are such a multicultural race, aren't we? Like, it's just at the end of the day, I feel like that's what makes people great people as well who accept it.
Well, true. Because, well, it does. It heightens your, like for you, dealing with like heaps of different people from different areas. It builds your skill sets of like how to interact with people.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, my old man's Irish and like he's white Australian.
Yeah, we got the same looking dad.
And then my mum's, I'm lucky enough to have her skin because like she's a blackie. Like, she's
is your dad smaller than you?
Yeah, no, dad is small. I'm the tallest in my family.
You've got a white dad that's smaller than you.
But not that small. Like he's still tall, but
still tall.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, bro. That's crazy, man.
It is crazy.
How did the move come about then of leaving that town, and how did that feel initially? Because did you know what sort of Melbourne or the Big Smoke was kind of like? Had you experienced it on the level that you probably did towards the end?
I hardly knew anything about Melbourne when I first came up. I did a couple of cross-country runnings up here or like athletics and stuff. But other than that, I had no idea. And Scotch College, I didn't know what that was either. I thought Mum was like, oh, you're going to go like to the boarding school, Scotch College. I was like boarding school, like what, am I in trouble? Like, because that's how she used to say, oh, I'll send you to boarding school. And then now I went to boarding school. I'm like, well, what have I done? But my family, my family, so I was the first male to graduate school in general from my community.
Is unbelievably cool.
So, and then after I graduated, that was a massive success. So family did like a little celebration. We all got together in a community and we all, like I said, it was unbelievable. It was the best feeling ever. And then I got drafted number 1, which was another thing, which was huge because I don't know, like there's not many people that come out of the mission and go, anyway.
Is there, no, let's talk about that. There's not, I don't think there is is there a player that's ever gone number 1 out of a mission?
I don't know. I know Desmond, what's it called? He was the other number 1 Indigenous player.
Oh, right.
I don't know where he grew up with, but it was the first.
We can probably fact check that.
It's unbelievable, but like I don't look at it back, like haven't really looked at it really.
Yeah. Well,
like it's crazy.
Yeah, and I get it because you're in it and it's like it's kind of don't have time to look back at it because you're like, I've got to suit up for this weekend and play.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, I'm like, as your mate, I'm like, bro, that is fucking unbelievable. Yeah. Like it's all the odds are stacked. All the odds tell you that you shouldn't be able to do that.
100%. That's what I mean. Like I couldn't even afford my shoes. And now I'm getting new boots every weekend. Like I'm like, I used to have 1 pair for 2 years. Now I'm getting 4 pairs every second week.
The cheaper version
Literally, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like it's crazy that, and then it is hard to keep your balance with like family and stuff as well. Yeah. Because it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm busy, I've got this on, but you're actually just tired and you want to relax.
Yeah.
But the best thing about coming out of a community is that you've got so many fans and supporters.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
I reckon every single one of those Indigenous people out there, like in the community, are massive Bulldogs supporters.
Yeah, they just migrate over.
But if I'm not playing, then they're just Jamarra supporters. Like, you know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah,
love that.
But no, we love them. I love them all. But when I got drafted, the whole reason that drove me to do that is because I wanted to make it easier for my little brothers and my cousins. That's the whole reason I put my thing to it. Like I didn't want to finish school. I didn't like school. Disliked it.
Yeah.
But I just had to put my head down. Like teachers would tell you, like
and
I wasn't.
Scotch is like, for people that don't know, it's probably the most prestigious school in Melbourne.
Yeah,
like 100%. It's not easy education.
Right.
It's
I'll
hard.
put it this way: they took me to Paris for a school trip. That's it. Like I went from Ballarat, Southern Hill to Paris.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. But I love Scotch College. Wouldn't change a thing. Teachers there, lovely. The students, my mates. Best thing ever.
Playing APS footy is a whole lot of fun too, isn't it?
Footy is the best thing I've ever done in my life, and I wish I could go back.
Yeah, but there's just the camaraderie. Now it's I don't know. Was baseline footy around when you were?
Nah, it wasn't. Baseline footy just came out.
You would have had 100K followers if baseline footy was around before you got drafted.
I reckon. Yeah. Imagine that. Baseline footy, just a highlight package, isn't it?
Well, Nick Watson and Harley Reid were like 50K followers before they came to the AFL because they're kicking. Up close kicking from the boundary like an AFL camera.
Yeah, wow, that's good as.
Yeah, just going to leaving your family. So when you got to Scotch, was that when you grow up in an environment like that, you become really close to people, and I know you're really close to your family, and you do look after them. You're being really humble with the stuff that you still do with your community and your family. But in regards to just like having this space away from them and being a boarder, and like kind of just figuring out a new world and a new school and this whole way of life. Like, was that fucking hard?
Yeah, it was hard. My first year when I got there, I struggled a heap. So I'd leave like Friday lunchtime, catch the V line down to Warrnambool, and then I'd come back Monday night. So I've already missed a day and a half of school.
Shit.
And then as soon as like footy started, I was fine because it was keeping me busy. Yeah. But we had to do chapel and stuff. and like sing at church and stuff, which isn't where I'm like from. It was like weird. It was strange as for me.
Was there even
a
church in your mission?
No, like there is one, but there's like we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like we didn't do any of that stuff. Yeah. We've got our own beliefs and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found it really hard. I was like, what is happening? Like, are they like stitching me up? Like when they were singing and stuff. Like, I was like,
you don't know,
no,
right?
I don't know anything better. And I'm like, wow. And then you have to be in chapel every Sunday. So I'd go to my mate's house, and then like, I'd have to come back every Sunday night just before travel. And it's like, it was good when I got in a routine. Like I didn't mind it. It's a pretty cool experience. But yeah, it was tough when I first left. I didn't like the boarding house. I didn't like the teachers, didn't like the students, didn't like anything. I wanted to just go home.
Yeah.
And but my dad said to me, which is what I remembered and what made me stay and go to Scotch, was he's only one phone call away. Yeah. And I'm 3 hours from home. There's people that are, you know what I mean?
That's what dads are for, man.
Yeah, one phone call away. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Just stop being a sook, you know what I mean? Like, and then, so that made me feel a lot better. But I just put my head down, and it just went so quickly. Now that I look at it, it was like bang.
Boom. But when you're there, you feel like days feel like weeks.
I've still got 2 years of this. You know what I mean?
I hated school too, man. I went to Caulfield. I was like you. I was good at sport. I went to a school that my parents couldn't afford. So I understand exactly kind of the level of change that is from like a public school or even greater mission. Yeah. You know, it's pretty full on. Were you always like, for you to get a scholarship to Scotch, like they don't go after anyone. Like I remember when I was in year 8, I was playing soccer, playing first soccer, and so we'd play sometimes.
In year 8?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. But we would play sometimes at the same time as the first footy team.
Yeah.
And one day they played Scotch and Silrioli was playing for them.
Yeah. And
so that just tells you, like Scotch, when they go get a player on a boarding, like from AFL background, they know what they're getting.
Yeah.
How did they hear about you or know of your level of talent?
Yeah, so obviously it's an Indigenous scholarship that I got offered, but I just always tell myself if I never picked footy, I wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah.
So
because you were good at basketball too, right?
I love me basketball.
Would you say, was there a point where you were serious on both?
Yeah, so when I was 15 and 16, I had to pick whether to go to Fiji and play for Flying Boomerangs, or go to Gold Coast and play for Vic Country. And then I ended up picking the Flying Boomerangs, and ever since then I have just played footy. But then now that like I can see like Dyson Daniels and all that, because I used to play against these boys, and
when you see the contracts they're getting,
like, wow, I'm like, oh well, I'll do it in my next life, I reckon.
People might not have seen the clip, but like you can dunk the ball. I think you were playing a pickup game, and I don't know who was on the sideline that like knows ball.
Yeah.
But when they didn't obviously like they knew you could play, but when you had the hops to get up and dunk, which fucking crazy.
Yeah, he was that fella that trains like Clay Thompson and stuff.
Yeah.
So and he was my coach, and we were doing the celebrity game for NBL.
Yeah.
It was Melbourne United who hosted it.
That's right. Archie was there too. Archie's a good man of mine.
Archie's a good man.
Yeah,
he ended up blocking like a little girl. I was like, bro.
Was that Feb's daughter?
Yeah, Feb's daughter.
That's that. You didn't have to do that, Archie.
Yeah.
And he celebrated.
But that's just him.
Yeah.
And no one got around it. It was awkward.
Yeah, Arch, that was a bad one.
Anyway, no, that was fun. So yeah, I love me basketball. Can't play now because it's just you lose it pretty quickly.
Yeah. I know the NBL's trying to lure you over though.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, 100%. Melbourne United will look after me.
So Scotch saw you playing for Vic Country. Is that what happened?
So Scotch Scotch saw me play for, like, I had a mate called Aaron. Oh, sorry, me cousin, uncle, pretty much, which is me mum's cousin, but I call him my uncle.
Can you just define actually because I think black culture. I grew up when I was 15. My mum had 2 brothers that were not from her mum, and one was from her dad. So one was like from a different whole set of parents. Yeah. And I've called them my uncle my whole life.
Yeah.
But until I got older, mum's like, oh, that's not your real uncle. But like I still call him uncle now. But like I didn't know. Like it was just, Is that similar to you in your culture?
It depends. Yeah. In my culture, it's similar. So like my nan's sister would be my auntie.
Oh.
Like, and then if my mum's auntie's like obviously my auntie, and then my dad's like auntie's my auntie. Like it's just weird.
Oh,
my
so it just stays in the same bracket.
Cousins, like uncles, like you just feel like you have it. And then you meet mum would be like, oh, this is your auntie. You remember? I was like, yep.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I meet that many people.
I got 60 on the street, Bob. I can't remember them all.
I was like, how many sisters you got?
Yeah. The hay bale fell on my head, Bob. I can't remember.
100%.
Hey guys, just a quick pause in this episode to compliment our partners of the show. You guys know that I've been sponsored and supported by Dabble, the gambling agency, for a while now. This place has a special place in my heart because it is like the social network of gambling. You can follow superstars of the game, copy their bets. You might not know so much about a certain sport, but you can copy someone who does and increase your chances of winning some money. Obviously, if you're not a gambler, please only bet what you can and are willing to lose. Please dabble safely, gamble responsibly, as we always say. Just so you guys know, this year I've been taking over the streaming space at Dabble every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Jake's Take is live. It is the wild, wild west of streaming. There's not too many sporting agencies or gambling agencies out there doing what we do. We put on a few bets throughout the show. We get some guests on. We have a lot of fun. It's all within the Dabble app. If you guys want to jump on board, the link is in the bio. Let's get back into the episode.
So you got an Indigenous scholarship. At the point you got that, how old were you when you got on a Scotch?
So I would have started getting talks at like 15 years old.
Were you, at 15, were you Jamarra? Were you the guy like number one in the country, like in yourself? I know you don't want to brag, but like.
Nah, I never did. I wanted to make a VFL list. Like I didn't know. I didn't really think I had an AFL. Like I didn't think I was ready to play AFL.
What?
I obviously looked at it and dreamt about it, but I didn't think I was good enough.
Wow.
But then it just slowly come by, and then people started respecting me a little bit more when I played footy.
Did you grow, or were you always tall?
I've always been tall. But yeah, no, I played junior footy. I won flags and like here and there, like best on ground, all that stuff. Like I've done that.
Ticked some boxes.
Yeah, but I didn't think I was ready because I've looked at the AFL players. I'm like, wow, like how am I going to? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough I wanted to even just be on a VFL list because I thought that was hard.
Wow.
But then I ended up making it, and then I got drafted number one. I was like,
bro, we're gonna go into your time in the AFL because I know there's probably a lot of Bulldogs fans tuning in. But I just want to get, when did the moment change? When did you become the presence in full, as a full forward, centre half forward, where you've taken over games and like people from the AFL were starting to knock on your door, maybe visit the mission, do sorts of things like that to try and, because they knew you were going to be a talent.
Yeah. So ever since I went to Scotch, I was playing backline in year 10.
What?
Year 10. I was playing ones in backline, yeah, in the first footy.
What?
And I came second in the BNF.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're just a freak, bro.
Back. And then, well, it's just easier. You don't have to, I feel like you can read the ball a lot easier.
And I think you're right. You said it before. I think playing, and it's the same with soccer, the person that has to score goals, kick the goals, it's the hardest job.
Yeah.
It's the hardest job because they're the ones that penetrate the scoreboard. It's got the most pressure.
Yeah, 100%, because you rely, like you have to be, you're relied to do
Not to undermine any other position, but that's just, they're the ones that make the headlines or break the headlines.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
So, played that. And then I had a really good year. Then my name started getting recognised a bit more. And then I didn't make it Vic Country in my draft year, the year I got drafted on. That's when I went to getting number one. I didn't get picked in Vic Country squad, like as a bottom age or anything. I thought when the coach rang me, I honestly thought he was joking. But not being cocky, but
you just thought you were good enough.
I thought I was fine, but because I got drafted on that year. Now that I look at it, I just laugh at it because it's like,
well, so you got drafted the same year you didn't make the Vic Country.
I didn't play my top age year. I didn't play at 18 years old.
So you went young
because we had COVID.
Oh my god,
bro! So we had COVID, so that I didn't play a single football game. Like there's heaps of other boys in Victoria that didn't, but I didn't play a single game. So it's pretty crazy to go number one and not play a single game.
Wow.
It's a little flex as well.
Bro, that's a massive flex. When we're flexing it, bro.
And there's boys playing outside. I was like,
there's only another Indigenous player that's gone number one.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing, man.
Yeah.
When did you know you were going number one? Like
the night before.
The night before.
But I didn't want to believe in it.
Did you know you were going top 10 before you got the phone call the night before?
No, I knew I was going top 10 with the talks around because I knew I spoke to heaps of players. Recruiters.
Yeah.
Sydney said they were definitely going to take me. They had pick 3.
Yeah.
I didn't know about North Melbourne. Sydney had pick 4, I think. So I knew I wasn't going to go past that.
Okay.
And then Adelaide rang my manager the night before and said, we're going to take him. But because I was signed with NGA, which is a Next Generation Academy with Western Bulldogs, because they developed me since the age of 15, they had first priority. So
it's a great loophole for the Doggies.
Adelaide Crows picked me at number 1, and then they matched it, and I went to the Western Bulldogs.
Wow, that's like a Kobe moment.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, I did. I was like, no, I didn't. I knew where I was going. I knew I was going to end up at the Western Bulldogs, but because they've put so much time into me since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
I
When you say put so much time into you, what are the things that they would do? Are you going to train with their academy?
So we would go to the club and there'd be 50, 60 of us Indigenous multicultural kids and we'd do testing, we'd just like train, we'd just spend the day out there with the players, we would have a feed, they'd get us a pair of ASICs, like it was unbelievable, it was the best thing ever.
Wow.
And then this kept getting smaller and smaller, people started dropping off and not doing it. And then there was 3 of us and then we got back invited to the thing to train with them in our draft year. It was me, Ewan Ferson and Cody Rack.
Wow.
And Ewan was I think father's son. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, NGA.
Yeah.
And then I was the only one that ended up getting drafted, and then Cody Rack got drafted later on. But it's crazy because there was so many of us.
And it just narrowed down.
Yeah, because I feel like it was just more because I wanted it more, and it just slowly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that. But that's what usually happens.
Yeah, but they've looked after me. They used to come to Scotch College and train me with my kicking and stuff, and I hated it. I hated them coming there because everyone would look at me.
Yeah, like
and I'm getting one-on-one coaching how to get better, and I'm like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't need any more eyes on me.
But it did. It made me better. It made me turn into a professional and want it more.
So you always had this. You probably had a connection to the Bulldogs and a love for them before because of just when you come from your culture and your environment. I feel. Because sometimes definitely Indigenous culture is so underappreciated in a lot of parts of Australia, but you got honestly the nicest person I've ever met, and you particularly when people invest some time in you, you really see like you have a really strong sense of loyalty. So I think that's important to you when you make those decisions. So that naturally would have been the best place. Like I couldn't imagine you anywhere else. After
that's why I recently just signed with them as well.
Yeah.
Like I can't see myself anywhere else right now. Like it's a really good club and I want to give back to them.
Yeah.
Because of how many years they've made it easier for me and just the way they look after my family as well.
Yeah.
Especially when I went through that racist stuff last year in round 3.
Can we talk on that? Like how did you cope with that?
That was hard. So
the best thing you ever did was pull your shirt up.
100%. And I was looking all right there. So I was happy with the photo.
Honestly, I might have to use my arm because I couldn't pull my shirt up at the moment, bro. Not standing next to you. Flexing on him.
No, that was good fun. Obviously, the game was unbelievable. It literally like kicked your first goal and the last goal of the game ended up with 5. And I was like, wow, this was after the racist comments and slurs.
You just went up a notch.
The week before was the hardest time for a while because I was on my own. I didn't know like what to do. I felt embarrassed just because I'm black. Like I actually felt embarrassed to go to the club and go there because it's such an elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And I thought I did something wrong, but I haven't. But that's just the way I looked at it because I'm like, wow, this is like this is real. Like this has happened to me now. And then mum was like upset and all this and that. But the club looked after us unbelievable. They reached out to mum. They sent her flowers as well. Oh. And it's, mum and that, like a meat Baines, unbelievable human.
Yeah.
He looked after me. Dave Newton, I could name the whole list, my players. As soon as I walked in there, opened me up and just hugged me, looked after me.
It's such a confusing place too. Do you know what's even more confusing for me and you is when it comes to racism, we've both got a white dad and a black mum. So what's racism to me and you?
I know, 100%.
We're both.
That's what I mean.
Like my dad is your colour.
Yeah, literally. That's what I don't understand.
It's it hurt my brain, bro. It hurts my brain because I'm like,
I can react. I would react. I wish I could react the way I want to.
Yeah,
but you just can't because it's just going to be such a bailout. Like it's going to go back on you, and not just you, but your whole community, like everyone.
Yeah.
But that's what stops me. But that's why I get like. That's why I always hang out with the closest mates because they'll know what to like. They'll look after me. You know what I mean?
Give you good advice.
Yeah, 100%. But it is hard because it gives you that lump in the throat where you get like, wow, like I'm upset, like I'm fucking struggling here.
Sometimes you don't think it's going to happen to you as well. When it does, it's like fuck.
But like it was everywhere. But I had people coming up on the streets giving me hugs and saying, like I'm so sorry that someone's done that. I'm like, yeah. But I'm not angry with the person. Like at the end of the day, it's just how their upbringing. Yeah, just weren't. They're just uneducated.
I think a lot of people in Australia aren't racist. They just don't know.
They don't know that. They don't know, and that's like we're only going to get better and better from here, which is a good thing. And like I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm glad that I made a point about it because without that, I wouldn't even, you know what I mean? Like nothing would change.
Well, they'll still take a black fella number 1, bro.
Yeah, but this is the funny thing about that. When I lift up my shirt, I had one of my staff members at the club. he said his son was doing it. He lifted up his shirt and was pointing at his skin.
Oh, that's cool.
But he's like little white Australia. Like, it's funny.
That's
Like,
cool.
I loved it.
That just shows this.
But
Kids are innocent.
But then the kids will, he'll be like, oh, why did he do that? Like, what's that? And then that's where the conversations start to stop the race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that meant heaps because I'm like, wow, these little kids look up to me about that.
Bro, yeah.
They thought it was just cool because I was showing me abs, but nah, they have no idea.
I didn't realize. I know, obviously remember the moment and the goal, but I didn't realize you kicked the lights out that the week after.
Yeah, no.
You had a great game.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was pretty good. The boys looked after me. It was unreal.
What was it like being a number 1 draft pick? I think Bulldogs were somewhat stacked when you went in too. Like they had a pretty elite.
Yeah.
Was Adzi there? Had he gone
was there. Adzi just got to the Western Bulldogs.
Was Dunk still there?
Dunks was there. So when I got drafted, I reckon I've got to be the first number 1 draft pick to go into a grand final. So I'm trying to get
your story's not normal, bro.
So I've got drafted. I'm like, these lads. So we went 5-0 in the first start of the year, I'm pretty sure. And then we've gone, bang, we're 1-2, 1-2, and then with Melbourne Demons, just kept swapping.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, we're going in the grand final with Melbourne Demons.
Yeah.
And I played the back end of the 5 year games, and then I got dropped for finals.
Yeah, because were you in and out a little bit that year?
Yeah, I played 5 games straight, and then he dropped me. Yeah, just dropped me for finals.
Yeah.
And then as soon as and I was flat as, like I wanted to be out there, but now that I look back, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't ready.
But the thing is, they knew how talented you were. It's like, we're still playing.
Yeah. See, 100%. But yeah, it was pretty hard to watch when we lost the grand final, but it was also like, oh wow, like I wanted to be out there if they won. So it was a very hard, challenging spot to be in, but I'm glad I got that in my first year. But I don't reckon you've ever read about it that a number 1 draft pick went to a grand final straight away because that's how stacked our team was, and we were so good. We are good, but like, you know what I mean? Like that was crazy.
Yeah, that was.
And I wouldn't know anything better. So then the year after, we didn't make finals. I don't think. No, we made finals. We got kicked out in elimination, and then in my 3rd year, we didn't make finals. So I'm like, all right. So I've had the grand final now.
You've had every experience.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, which is good. Wow, that's pretty cool. It was a weird time, man. Like in Perth.
Oh yeah,
all that sort of stuff. It was really strange,
especially like the after part, like going after the game.
Yeah, like in Perth.
It's like, where do we go? We only just got let out, the lockout. We were locked in the whole time.
Yeah. Well, it's actually just a weird season in general for you, let alone be your first.
Yeah, we were in Tassie. You had to wear masks and stuff. Like the boys, I was in the 2s and I had to stay at Tassie, and the boys flew up to Brizzy to play in the what was it? Prelim?
Might have been the prelim.
No, it was the other final.
Okay, yep.
But and we had to stay, so that sucked. But we just stayed in Launceston, and I was like, bro, what do we do here? It was the worst time ever.
I guess Mario's not going to Tassie.
Hey, don't speak too soon, bro. But hey, do you know the thing that I always like asking players that walk into new clubs is probably a little bit different for you because you hadn't come from another footy club, but just the level, like playing APS footy and like, you didn't even play Vic Country that year, but like playing APS footy, then you go into a team that's grand final, like worthy. The standard of footy must have been so high as well. Like even though you can play and maybe jump to the level, it's a big jump.
Oh, it's huge, especially not playing an AFL, like a football game for a whole year.
Yeah.
So 12 months without playing a footy game in my top age year. So we didn't have the cut, like we weren't fit enough. I wasn't fit enough. I didn't have the strength because I didn't know what to train because I was only allowed out 1 hour a day, like during COVID. So I've rocked up to preseason, AFL preseason, and I'm sitting at the back of the group. I'm getting smashed by everyone. And I'm like, this is the hardest time of my life because I'm like, these lads are all fit. They've got 5-6 years experience on me. They've had their preseason block and they've had a program sent to them. I made my own program up at home trying to be fit. And I'm thinking I'm fit, but I'm not because I come there and I'm in the back end of the group. And I'm like, this is hard. So I've got a long way to go. But yeah, but I wouldn't change a thing. I've loved every bit about it.
Who was the players that kind of put their arm around you when you first came in and like gave you that sort of brotherly love that a young kid needs?
Yeah, so definitely Bont, our captain, looked after me day one. Josh Dunkley looked after me. There's heaps of boys. I lived with those two for a bit before I was drafted as well. So when I was training there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so and then me and Bonty were the same size shoe and clothes. So I just
that's handy.
And for a little Indigenous boy, I was like, yep. Like he goes, like brings out this bag of like old shoes and he goes, I'll just go through which ones you want. I didn't even go. I was like, oh, I looked through a couple and I was like, yeah, I'll just grab the bag. Didn't even look at them. I was like, yeah, took them home, which was unbelievable. Like it's cool as to do that stuff. But yeah, and then after my first year when I only played 5 games, Bont took me to, like I did the whole preseason with him. So he kind of took me down that professional side of being an AFL player and made me a better person and better player. It made me know that it's not given. I just learned it a really hard way in my first year where it's like I thought I'd roll in number 1 play debut, like round 1.
Most teams, most number ones don't walk into a team that can win a flag.
Right. And I hated it. And I hated seeing like the other draftees, like the rookie draftees, like pick 40 something. I don't know. Like they're playing, and I'm like I've done all this work. I want to play, but I'm not playing. But as I said before, I wouldn't change a thing because I'm glad the way Bevo's coached me and developed me as a player because it's made me for who I am now. It made me want it more. And
did it really?
Yeah, it made me want to prove everyone wrong that because everyone was calling me a bust in my first year. But
how did you deal with that mentally? Because that's really tough. Because you can also go 2 ways with that. One, you can like sulk and put your head down and like let it affect you. Or like, because I remember there being a lot of noise, like you're in and out, it was going to take time to develop. For you don't, part of you understands it, but like you don't care about that, you just want to play?
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. I just want to go out there and play. And it's hard to play in the VFL because you get 2 blokes on you and they're just trying to bash you the whole time. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get a kickie because they're not even caring about the footy in the first place. And I'm trying to kick goals. And then, but at the end of the day, when I was getting dropped, I was like, I was so off it. Like I was like, these coaches like, why are they dropping me? Like I shouldn't be dropped. So I was like at negative.
Yeah.
But then now if I ever got dropped, last time I got dropped, I looked at it as a positive. It's like, I'll go back, work on what I need to work on, and then I'll come back in. So when one of my mates gets dropped, I'll just talk to them about that and be like, don't look at it as a negative. Like, yeah, it sucks, but you could but switch on the next day because it's just a time to develop and just come back a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such an amazing story about Bont. I honestly think he's the best player in the league. Like I defy anyone that has never seen him live that they should go watch him live because TV doesn't do him justice sometimes.
No, 100%.
Like just with his level of skill.
Just the way he's pattern running, like the defensive stuff he does. It's crazy to think of it. I do like sit back a bit and be like, wow, this man's like, he's a magician. Like he can play footy and I'm like present with this fella. Like he can play and he's my captain. Like, but I'll watch in 2, 5, 6 years time whenever he retires and I'm going to look back at that and be like, take it for granted a bit now, but I'm going to look at it and be like, wow, like now I can tell my kids that I played with him. Like he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But like even just his off-field behaviour, the way he speaks, like his speeches pre-game, after game, it's like I was saying last night at one of my mates, it's like there's definitely he has to practice those in the mirror because there's no way someone's making that up.
He's like Coach Carter.
Bro, he's just turned like this. Yeah, I'm like, yep, I'm ready. Let's go to war. Like, bro, this guy's just prepped me to do anything. I'll run through that wall right now.
That's golden.
Yeah, no, he's good as.
Yeah, I heard. Well, Adsy's quite similar too. Adsy's house is like he's come on here before. He spoke. It's like a recovery center. Like he's got kind of like saunas and all these types of things. Like. Yeah, you've walked into such a good group. Who, like, when you kind of came, or even just in your time in the Bulldogs, like we've mentioned Bont, but who are because there's so many talented players, like who are the players that you see in training, even just on game day that you just like super appreciate? Maybe that don't get all the noise because obviously you got players like yourself and Bont that get a lot of the headlines, but who are some of those guys that you just like really value in your team?
Yeah, definitely my small forwards like Cody Waitman, Latham Vandermeer, Lockie McNeil, like all I can name them all. Like they do so much selfless things to make us key forwards, us team win the game.
Yeah.
They're just the way their energy and the way they just use the ball and the excitement they bring to the game.
Yeah.
Is just like, I feed off that stuff, especially Cody Waitman. But like, and I can spray them a little bit if they don't kick it to me, but even though I wouldn't pass it to them. But nah, they'll let me, we just give each other shit all the time, but just the connection we have down there. Unbelievable. I love Liam Jones. Yeah. He's so hard to train on, but I know I'm going to get better every time I play on him at training. He's aggressive and he's just so strong in the contest and he'll just clean you up. He won't care that it's training. He'll come for you.
That was a great pickup.
Yeah.
He took that time off, didn't he? And then you got him.
And then, went up to Noosa or somewhere up there and then come back. Now he's playing and now he's dominating. Probably like, Yeah, he's a really good player. Most underrated player. Oh, I think he's pretty rated, but there's heaps of boys out there. Buku Kamas, another one that's underrated.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, we call it me and him the NGA boys because we're day ones. Like he come from that.
Oh,
as
did
well.
he really?
Yeah, he got picked up through that, and then Bulldogs gave us an opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, bro. Can you just tell me about your relationship with Bevo? You kind of gave him some love, but like it's a big role for a coach as well, having a player with your background coming in as a number one draft pick. Like you combine the two together. I think the way he's managed you, because the way you've been molded, more so off the field, how you are, you carry yourself really well, which I think he's probably had an impact on. What were some of the things that, how did that relationship start and how's it developed over the 4 years you've been there?
Yeah, so in the first year it was tough to like him because I wasn't playing. And, But to be honest with you, he was, but then I knew that he only just wanted the best for me. But it took me, I had to mature to realise that because I'm rolled in, as I said, like I've rolled in, I just wanted it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't giving it to me. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not a fan of you, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I would never tell him to his face.
Hopefully he doesn't see it. We love you now, bro.
No, I love him. I've loved him. But then after that, he's so culturally interested. Like he loves it. He loves Indigenous culture. We hand out a painted, like a designed, what's it called, a didgeridoo.
Oh, really?
Every time to the best player after every game.
No way.
Yeah. So after every game, there's a dig that's painted up, which represents someone's painted it up, but we'll give it to the player that's playing the best, and they'll keep it. So like
every season game?
Yeah. So Bontempelli and Roy Lobb got like 6 digits in their lockers, and Adam Trelaw's probably got 10 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, So that's unbelievable.
You'd have a couple now, maybe.
I don't know. I think I've got one. I don't know. I haven't looked, but I've just got plenty at home. No, but sick. I'm like, wow, this is cool, and everything we do is just like it's all culture related, and the boys love it. They get around it.
Yeah.
So that's where I respect him a lot in there. But you just got to get to know him. He really genuinely cares for you and loves you as a person. He does not care about who you are or what you do outside of footy. He genuinely loves you behind those doors. Like
that's awesome.
He'll care, and it'll never be our fault. It's always his fault. Like that's the one thing we love about him, and he is hard. Sometimes it is hard to he does challenge us as a team, but you just got to look at it as like he only wants the best for us.
Well, he's proven winner, isn't he, as well?
Exactly.
Like he can win one.
Yeah.
So which is pretty cool. How's it been this year? Because it's been such a strange season, but I think there's always been pressure on the Bulldogs ever since you've joined because of the list. Like the quality of players they've had in the forward line, the midfield's like, how do you fit them all in at periods? How's it kind of been to have a strong period of this season where you're like, it's clicking, it's there, it's what everyone thought it could be? Has that been kind of awesome to be a part of?
Oh, 100%, especially after knocking off the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
And we played well against them as well. It wasn't a close game. We actually went hard at them. I feel like as soon as we've won 3 games in a row, I'm like, wow, I can't not see us getting there. But you just got to take day by day. Yeah, everyone can see themselves winning a flag now at the end of the year if you're in the top 8.
Yeah.
Because that's how you should look at it.
Yeah.
But we just got to day by day and just keep grinding and getting better. Hopefully our list stays healthy and we just go out there and play footy. And our footy is our best is when we're kicking goals and our midfield's dominating and our backs are just locked down. You've seen us at our best, and hopefully we can get better and better.
With goal kicking, that's like an art, I feel. I feel like when you kick on the field, you kick with just your instinct because you're in the moment. Have you had to train your brain or train anything specific that has just completely different to field kicking to have a routine or have a way about how you go goal kicking? Because you've been kicking goals for a long time.
Yeah.
But is that as it's always so much scrutiny always on AFL players kicking goals, particularly when you're a full forward?
Yeah. I've been playing this game for probably 15 years now.
That's a long time.
I'm still learning how to do a goal, set shot goal kicking. There's routine in it. It's unbelievable. It's like how many steps you take, what your plant foot, which way is it facing, which way your hips are going. And sometimes you can overthink it, but if you actually get that all locked in, you shouldn't miss. Mm-hmm. So we get Brad Johnson, who's a legend of our football club.
Yeah.
I think he's played the most.
Adam Cooney, just on Brad Johnson, said he was the best player he ever played with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's that? I asked Adam Cooney because obviously he was a Bulldogs legend and went to the Dons and won. He's the only. No, well, he's the first. You're going to be the second.
No, I'm just kidding. No way. No,
he's the only number one draft pick to have won a Brownlow. Adam Cooney. How's crazy? Well, you're going to be the second, obviously. But
that's a midfielder rule, isn't it? Is it?
But yeah, he said just to go.
Yeah. So he comes in every second week and teaches us, trains us, and just makes us focus more on it because last 3 years and for the last 5-6 years, I just go back and have a shot. And then my routine would change every way. But there's spots where you just change your routine, which way you kick it, the way shape you hold the ball. Like it's all these different ways you have to look at it. But as soon as I get that unlocked, it's probably going to take me 5-6 years to be a lead at it. But I'm glad I'm starting now in my 4th year.
Yeah, do you remember Lonzo Ball when he came into the NBA? They taught him how to shoot again. It's kind of what you're saying. Yeah, he was like
literally
threw from his left, like over his right. Yeah, I could do it, bro.
He'd stay on his left.
He was a great player, but it's kind of what you're saying. You've done something your whole life, but then they get to the top level and they refine it, and it's almost like you're learning it again, even though you've done 1,000.
100%. But I'm not going to complain if I'm especially learning from the greats. Like, if Brad Johnson comes out and tells me how to kick, I'm going to listen to him because he's done it, mate. He's played. He's a legend. Like he's done his job. He's done his experience, what we're doing now. Yeah. So if I just learn now, I'm hopefully just going to get better and better.
Who was Mara's footy idol growing up?
Yeah, mine was Buddy Franklin for sure.
You've left-footed too, aren't you?
Yeah, left-footed, Indigenous boy. Yeah. Just the way he goes about it, like his long goals, everything. He's like excitement, like just that aura about him. I just fucking he's great.
Did you have you ever had like chance to speak to him? Well, you would have played against him a few times.
Played against him 3 times, I think. Every time I'm loading up for a set shot, he'll be like, "Oh, big old at the back behind me." But he's great, mate. To have someone to look up to like that and have pretty much the same, like you know what I mean, base the same game.
Yeah.
But I loved having that because he's obviously set some high like goals to beat. Obviously, it's going to be tough in this day and age to beat his goals. But it's still challenges I could love to just compete against. So it makes me keep chipping away at something better.
Yeah.
But he's unbelievable, and he's what he's done to the game and the idol he is to younger Indigenous people and the whole Australia.
Yeah. He's an icon, isn't he?
He is an icon.
Yeah, he was hurdling blokes only 10 years ago and kicking goals from 60. It's like,
I wouldn't mind one of those. That'd be pretty cool.
I reckon you could do what you could actually athletically do some of the things he could do.
I wouldn't mind someone just lay there for me. I do say to the couple of boys when we're in the goal square, and I'm like, "Oh, brother, just sit there and we'll split the award at the end of the year." I'm like, "Let's just do it." And he goes, "What? How are we going to split a car?" I said, "We'll sell the car." And I'm like, "Let's just do it, bro." And he goes, it's funny because I have mates out there on the oppositions and we'll just, I'll tell them.
You get chirped? That's the best.
I don't get chirpy. I'm more of a just take the piss and like.
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything out there. If anyone starts to try to jump a punch me, I'm just like, mate.
What are you going to do?
Like, what are you, like, there's 50,000 people watching you and there's that many cameras on us right now.
Yeah.
It's just the most stupidest thing ever.
Probably the one of the funniest things about you, because I actually wanted to just go into who you are off the field, but I probably forgot to bring this up when you're at Scotch, because you just talked about you always trying to take the piss on the field. Yeah. And it reminded me, and I don't know if this is a piss take if you're actually gifted at it, but Jamarra Ugle-Hagan was actually lawn bowls captain at Scotch. So there's number one draft picked and there's a lawn bowls captaincy that I know you must have taken very seriously.
Yeah, definitely. No.
So give us why and how.
So the only reason I did it is because I had to drop, I had to pick a sport. We had to do a sport at Scotch in the autumn year, in spring, sorry. So we were like, we'd rather do touch rugby, which you train twice a week, but then that would interfere with my pre-season at footy. But lawn balls, if you did that, you train once a week, which was on my day off. So that was perfect. And then I started doing it and I got all my mates to come over and then they voted me captain and I ended up getting my name up on the board and all this.
They voted you captain?
Yeah, and I had to pick the teams. I'm like, I don't even know which way the ball goes. Like,
which side is it?
Literally. And then I was like, so I put the teams together. We'd roll in with fucking speed dealers and skins on and stuff, zinc. And everyone's like, they're actually trying to be professional and stuff. And we're like, we're gooses out there. Like, we had no idea what we were doing, but it was good fun. And it was only just around the corner from Scotch, so it was so easy.
Yeah. Your lifestyle off the pitch as well, for people that don't know, we've gone into your training, but you're such a relaxed kind of guy. You really, as much as you love your mates and you're around your mates, you do love being on your own and having like your own time to kind of decompress. Do you find that's important with the sort of position you're in as a footballer, just to kind of separate away from that world and be Jamarra at times?
Yeah, definitely. You got to get your own space. I love doing my own thing. So I'll go down to Brighton Barbs on my own. Like I did it this morning, and I'll just jump in the steam room and I'll go in the water, go back in the steam room. But I'll just chat to all the elders there, like all the older people.
Sorry to cut you off. My dad, he's a member there.
Yeah? Well, there you go.
Yeah. He's probably one of them.
So I go, probably, imagine that, We've just been talking shit.
Stocky white guy.
No, I go there all the time. So it's definitely something I get away from everyone. I just relax. And you hear some cool stories. And like one guy called me the tea bag because I'd go into the water, dip myself in, jump back in the steam room.
The tea bag.
because all of them, they'll go in the steam room and they'll go for laps and then go back in. And I'm like, I'm not, because I don't swim, I can't swim. Like that, bro.
You can run. That's what we do.
So I'll just go dip myself in and then go back out.
Wow, bro. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool, man.
No, it is cool.
I would say I want to come down, but like you have your alone time, mate. Tea bag in there, bro.
Yeah, tea bag.
Final one from us is a question we ask all the people that come on the podcast, people that we see as successful in their career and what they do. And I think every person that hits a height that you've hit, you need 3 key traits. And we've done a lot of research on this, mate. We're scientists here. But resilience, drive, and ambition. I think without those 3, you can't make it. Yep. Like you need all 3. But for you, out of those 3, which one probably would you say is your number one of like, coming from a mission, getting through the Scotch period, being a number 1 draft pick and kicking goals?
Definitely the first one you said, resilience.
Resilience.
Because, I had some tough, dark days at home. Like there'd be, as I said, there'd be times where we wouldn't have any food or like we wouldn't do anything or I couldn't get to school. So like all those stuff or I couldn't get back from school to get home. So just bouncing back like, it's tough, but you can always, get through it. So I feel like I always bounced back and I knew that it's going to get easier if I just keep putting my head down.
Beauty, bro. Well said, man. You're well educated, man. Scotch did well.
I did all right.
Shout out. What's the land we can acknowledge that you're?
Jamarra.
Jamarra.
Yeah, Jamarra.
What's your name in there?
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Jamarra people, man. We're definitely. I want to come visit. I'd love to come visit and check it out. But hey, Amara Ugaga.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you coming on, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Absolutely loved it. Please give us a like, follow, and subscribe, and of course, we'll see you next week.